Wasn't this a treat? Kind of half raining, half cold, half warm, half beekeeping weather. The bees aren't flying today, they're crawling. And if you know anything about crawling bees, they just kind of crawl. I don't know how many bees I have inside my jacket right now and up my pant legs. It's not quite the bee working day I thought it was going to be. But we are moving forward, hoping to get rained out, but it doesn't seem to want to rain. It just seems to want to make the bees miserable. So we'll just go with it until we get stopped. As you can see, Carrie has a few stragglers on her back, and those bees just tend to wander in circles until they find their way into underneath your suit and then decide, this is terrible, and then start stinging. So we'll see how long our patience lasts. But we have work to do. We got to get through these nests. We have to promote the big ones. We have to, is that one a shakeout?
Yeah. It's drone layer.
Oh, is the queen dead?
I think so. Because I can't find her and I don't see any eggs. So
Alright.
there's no young larvae, so it's
How many bees in there?
medium.
Maybe we should just shake that one out. Is there a colony we could shake out in front of?
There's one over there.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah, and we're finding queen issues around this on this round, which is fine. We want to find them now so we can deal with them. We're finding drone layers. We're finding outright queenless hives. We shook out where there's that one. I shook out another one from this pallet here in front of that weak colony. You know, maybe we're finding one, maybe two issues per yard, which is what it is, I guess. But the point of the matter is, we take those and we just get rid of them. Either if there's lots of bees in there, if there's enough bees to salvage, we'll put a weaker unit up on top and then let the two merge together and then assess that smaller unit later on when they have a bigger mass of bees, just to see if they're capable. Or if there's hardly enough to fuss over, we just shake them into the grass like that in front of a smaller unit and just let the bees merge on the front entrance. It's kind of a shitty day to do that though, because if it actually does start raining, then those bees are all lost. And at this time of year, typically those are old bees and they're not really worth a lot. But at the same time, if you can salvage them, why not? Chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. Pardon me?
Found her.
Oh.
She's just not laying.
Yeah, so she found that queen and she's about to finish her. Let's take a look. Do you have her still?
No, I just skinned her.
Oh, she just chucked her into the grass. Let me take a look at one of those frames.
And she doesn't have very many young.
Obvious drone layer, as you can tell by all the bullet-shaped cells. She has a little nest chugging along in there, but of all the wrong types. Just ran out of steam. So these colonies here are marked as smaller ones that we're going to switch out, and we're just dumping the bees in front of them. They'll eventually wander their way up there, hopefully, and merge. Simulate or die, I guess how it is. Such is life. I think we found another drone layer. Just looking down from the top so I can just see a bunch of drones. And it's not that bad of a colony. We're looking at probably 6 frames of bees. So what we want to do with this one is, instead of shaking it in the grass, there should be enough bees in here. We want to merge and salvage this nest by putting a smaller unit up on top. And to see if we can find the queen. We've got to find the queen before we can do that. Lots of pollen in there. Looks nice. Looks like fresh stuff too, eh?
Yeah.
So tomorrow morning I'll likely bring a nuke over and merge it with newspaper.
This one's still here somewhere.
There's a bad sign. Deformed wing virus, either that or just, I don't know. Is that deformed wing virus? Kind of looks like it, eh?
Yeah. Good looking drones though.
Yeah, lots of them too, eh? So I imagine this queen just petered out. So she probably got a good round of brood in before she started throwing blanks. You can see the
She has emptied her stores.
there she is.
Oof.
Sorry, my dear. Thank you for your service. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put the foamy on and the lid's upside down just to tell me that the queen is dead. We want to salvage the bees, and then I'll come tomorrow with newspaper and merge the nuke over top of it, because there's a mass of bees in here. So we want to salvage all those bees because they're worth something. They got a little bit of life left in them. That is the plan. So I had this product come in the mail for me, Hive Alive, and the guys wanted me to try this product out on some of my colonies, and I've been running around with this in the truck not really knowing what to do with it, and I want to try it out, but I just don't know really how to proceed. But I come across this yard and it seemed to be a little bit flat. This yard, we moved it in, and Carrie's been digging down into the nests, and she said there's kind of a delay within the brood nest. So something happened, something staggered the nest, and I think what it was is when I moved this yard here, I moved it from a place with abundance pollen. They had like hundreds and hundreds of acres of natural stuff just flowing into the colonies. Then I move them into a yard here that's in the middle of a section field, and they have to fly half a mile to a mile away to get to that rich hundreds of acres of pollen again. And it probably just interrupted their inflow of food, and the queen just maybe shut down for a little bit. So that's what I think's going on in this yard, and they finally found it, and now they're off in the races again. So I'm thinking, well, maybe this is a good yard to try this product out in. It recommends that we feed at least 1 gallon. Mix a gallon pail and put half a teaspoon of this in each gallon, and maybe do it twice. I don't know. This yard's a little bit dry too. This yard's just off. They couldn't find my open feeder, so I don't know. I think they found it now, but I'll drop some more syrup for them. But I'll put this in. I'll feed it to them in a pail and see what happens. I'm not really measuring what's going on. I guess I could do half the yard and leave the other half untreated, or maybe I could do the whole yard and leave like 4 hives untreated. Maybe that's what I'll do, and I'll see if this will spark up the bees. It's like a feed enhancer for bees with seaweed, if you believe it or not, made in Ireland. So yeah, product placement, right? I'm not getting paid, they just sent it to me in the mail, and I'm just a little bit curious. So there you go, we'll see what happens. It's the end of the day. We can't find any yards that's calm anymore, so we'll have to wait for the wind to calm down or switch directions. Hopefully tomorrow is a better day for this wind. Is just give us a break already. But we're just ending the day off now at this yard. Remember, we lost here 2 days ago. We ran out of patties, so we worked through the yard, and we're just coming back now, and we drop patties into this yard just to make sure they have the protein they need. I want to show you, so here's 2 colonies that we doubled up. And this one was marked as a blue tag. And then this one wasn't, but we doubled it up because we thought it was stronger. But I just want to show you what it looks like inside. It actually, we're off on our second assessment there. They actually maybe weren't strong enough to take that top box. And you can see it pretty evident because there's no bees up there. These bees are like, hey, we can only maintain what we got down here. Why'd you give us all that headspace? And it's probably not going to matter because it's not really cold. But that's what I'm talking about. When we're putting boxes up on top, we want to make it like this one. There's a box of bees down there. And there's a box of bees up there. So they have instantly, when we put that top box on, they instantly moved up into the top box to make both chambers their home. In a sense, establishing their house and easily being able to adjust to that extra space we give to them. So if it was a little bit cold, this big guy, they would just crank right through it. But I suspect if it was cold, when we added this space on top of this one, these guys would complain a little bit and they'd be like, why'd you do that? And that would open up the opportunity for disease. And, you know, very likely see little chalk brood mummies being rolled out the front. But we don't have to worry about that. We have a little bit of grace right now because we have actually warmth. Even though it's windy, it's actually not that cold right now. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. It's just right, except for the wind, which buys us a little bit of patience. Tipping this yard back, I mean, boxes of bees. And look at my foundation frames without foundation. The bees are already trying to fill that space with bees, which means if we have any flow, they're likely to start building comb, which means I better get that foundation placed in there. So I'll see where the order is, and if it's not anywhere close, I'll have to go to Bee Made and buy like 500, 600 sheets. Whatever.